Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, AZ Triumphster. I've been doing some work to my 77 Yamaha XS500. Ultimately, the idea was to work on the front forks. I ordered some used ones off a 76 that apparently the bike only had like 6,000 miles on it, and I had them shipped to me. And so jacked up the bike, lifted the front end, pulled the wheel, and so I took that opportunity to do a couple of other things. Popped the bearings out of the wheel, bought a new tire, an Avon Road Rider, and got the wheel powder coated. So here's where things got a little interesting. So stock, you can tell that the wheels have a brushed aluminum lip. And at one point in time, the wheel had some color to it other than raw aluminum, and over time it wore out. And I knew I wanted to keep that aluminum lip because the motor's brushed aluminum, the fork tubes are brushed aluminum, the rear shocks are aluminum. So I knew I wanted to keep that lip. So I start price shopping powder coaters, and most won't even do two-tone because of the labor involved with taping it off, and apparently it's just a big headache. And the ones that will do it, it costs a lot. And nothing against them, I understand when there's a lot of labor involved, that's when the price tag goes up. So I started looking at just doing a single color, all black. And actually was given a number to a guy that's local that does powder coating on the side out of his house. He's got a really cool, efficient setup out of his home. His name's Paul. And if any of you are local or are coming through, gonna stay for a little bit, whatever the case is, and you have some parts you want to get done, reach out and we'll see if I can get you in touch with this guy, because he struck me a killer deal on this. I just did the front wheel for now, but it turned out great. After the wheel was done, I had my buddy AJ, who is also working out of his home, doing maintenance stuff here and there on motorcycles, and he's got a tire change machine and all this stuff, and he's charging a very, very reasonable rate for installing a tire. So I had the tire installed. After that was done, it just kind of occurred to me that I might have an option to get back or obtain that brushed lip that I gave up by powder coating the wheel one color. So there's a place that I've dealt with numerous times called Metro Restyling. They're out of Las Vegas, and they sell vinyl wraps and all kinds of different stuff. I mean, if you guys have seen pictures of previous bikes in my videos, or seen the logos, the Dean Speed logo and the number 16 on the pod tail for the 77, then you've seen the vinyl. They carry very high quality stuff. So I started looking on their website, and I found that they have a brushed aluminum vinyl. And I was looking at it, it's a little tough to see in the pictures and everything, but based off of what I had seen in person, when Micah and I went to Barrett-Jackson and saw that Supra, the new Supra, that looked like it was all brushed aluminum, it turned out it was a wrap, and the stuff looked damn near like the real thing. So I took a chance, spent 20 bucks, ordered a roll of 5 foot by 1 foot brushed aluminum vinyl. And here that stuff is right here. I already cut a strip out of it. But yeah, I mean, you can see that it has some texture to it, and yeah, I mean, it feels like, it feels like a deeply scuffed aluminum, but it looks real. And so I already did the other side of this, but I wanted to walk you through, you guys, how I did it, so that way if it's something you decide you want to do on a wheel, you kind of have a little bit of insight. And you don't necessarily have to do a brushed aluminum. I mean, if you wanted to do a colored, like a paint, so it looked like a painted lip, or even a pinstripe, you could do it this way. So this distance here, which I wanted to do this full lip and then this little edge here as well, is about 1 inch. So I measured out 1.5 inches here and cut it lengthwise all the way down. So I'm gonna peel this back and get started on it and show you guys just how I did it. All right, so I already cleaned this entire edge all the way around here. I used just alcohol and a shop rag to clean it up, make sure all the grease and everything is off of it. I also used it on my fingertips. And so here's the strip of vinyl. Now what I'm gonna do is, this end seems to be a little bit better. So I'm just gonna peel some of it back, and I don't peel the whole thing off because that would be difficult to work with. So I just start a little bit like so. And then I find the edge that I want and just get it started. So I am, as I'm going, I'm stretching it, but very little, in fact. I'm trying to use the line that is the bottom of the vinyl also as the edge that I would have, that the brushed edge would have ended, so that hopefully I don't have to trim a lot back. So I just went from this spoke to the other, and I'll show you what I've done. So you can see here that this all is laid in this edge, but it's, you know, it's got some tension on it here. So what you do is you just start rolling this over, and it naturally stretches the vinyl. And this stuff is some high quality stuff. Apparently there's some air release technology that it just doesn't hold bubbles, which has proven true. So very effective. This is what I was kind of talking about. I'm gonna come up over this edge like so, and just kind of work the vinyl up and over. And as you can see, it's not retaining any air under that edge. And all I'm doing is lifting it up and pushing the edge down so it holds. There, check that out. So yeah, there it is. And so I'll just go around the whole thing doing this, and then I'll check back and tell you guys the next steps. Okay, I've gotten the wheel wrapped all the way around, and although it looks a little rough here, obviously because I've got a bunch of excess material on the top edge, but when you get to the part where you've met where you started, you're ending, overlapping it with a type of material like this isn't that bad because it has some texture to it, so it goes a little more unnoticed. But yeah, so I just followed the edge here all the way around. I think it went very well. And once you have it all laid down, just go back through and apply pressure. Some companies vinyl wraps, like this is 3M, and apparently just applying pressure is what activates it or situates it so it doesn't move. Other companies use heat, etc. So I'll go through and run a blade along this edge and score it and peel it back, and then I should be done. Okay, so I'm going to use this type of blade simply because I can hold the tip of the blade and use my fingers as a guide against the tire and the lip to make sure that I'm as consistent in the positioning of the cut or score as possible. But if you have a steadier hand than I do, you can use something like this, maybe a hobby blade, whatever you prefer. So let's get this started and see how it goes. I'm going to use, this side is sharper. So let's see. So I want to be right on the top of the edge. And I'm rotating the wheel as I have the blade and the wheel and the lip between my fingers. Because if I just move my body and rotate my hand around the wheel, I think changing my body position will probably change where the line is, so I want to avoid that. So this appears to be fairly consistent. And again, I'm just scoring. I'm not even pushing hard at all. Just enough pressure to get through the vinyl. And there we go. So let's see, I'm gonna peel some of this back. And there we go. So there's your edge, and you just start peeling it back. Like so. And this is where I want to just take it a little bit easy and make sure that I'm good. Okay, so I need to clean up this a little bit. It looks like there's a little bit of overlap. So I'll just follow it around till the blade drops off, right there. Stuff is super sticky. All right, so there's that. There you go. So there you have it. That's how I laid the vinyl on the other side. If I'm being honest, this side went a lot better. I think it's because I followed this edge, and then I went through and just had to score this one. This one's easier to keep a line on than it is to do this one. All right, so here's another look at it. Yeah, look at that. We got some grime here and there, but vinyl cleans just as easily as any other surface. If you're working with like a gloss vinyl, it cleans just like a gloss paint. And same thing with something like this, it's gonna clean just like a porous surface or like a matte finish would. But there it is. I mean, that turned out excellent. Very happy with this. Really looking forward to putting the brake discs back on and the forks back on the bike and getting this thing back together, and catching up with you guys then, so I can show you pictures of it with the wheel on the bike. Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, I hope that was helpful, beneficial. Maybe you guys can use that. I guess the moral of it is you don't have to spend $1,000 on a pair of wheels to get them to look the way you want them to look. And if you've got, a vintage bike and you're doing a build, whether it's a bobber or a cafe or whatever the case is, there's probably some sort of budget you're working within. So keep this in mind. It might help you stay where you want to as far as cost goes. Guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video. And I'll check back soon, show you what's going on with the XS and the Harley and all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to keep this up. So stay safe, guys.